Right. So the problems that you could use a calculator, especially to verify, would be evaluate an expression when x is given a certain value. And the expression that I'm going to pick will be 4x squared minus 5x plus 2. Okay, so if I want you to evaluate this expression when x is equal to negative 5, it's similar to some problems you did maybe on 1.2. You need to be able to do this by hand or be able to check it quickly with a calculator, because your finals for this semester will be just like last semester in that you'll get only the last 15 minutes to use a calculator. So you need to know how to use them quickly. Okay, so I'm going to show you like 3 different ways here to evaluate expressions using your calculator. Okay, the first method is or involves using what's called the with key. Okay, the with key is the vertical bar. It's located right below the equal key on your calculator, here on the far left column, right next to the 7. If you're going to use the with key to evaluate an expression, the way that you'll do this is you will enter the expression exactly as it appears. Okay, so in this case, you would write 4x to the power of 2 minus 5x plus 2. So on the calculator, do the same thing. 4x to the power of 2 minus 5x plus 2. Once you enter the expression, you're then going to type the with key right here again to the left of the 7. And you're just going to tell it what you want x to be. So x equals negative 5. So x equals, the equal sign is right again on that left side, negative 5. And when you hit enter, it evaluates it for you, gives you your answer. So you see that your answer is 127. If they asked you to solve for 2 values, so evaluate when x is negative 5 and when x is 21, the nice thing with this is all you would need to do is just replace the negative 5 with the new number, 21. Hit enter, and you'll get 1661 is the evaluated value for that. This is probably the one that you'd use the most often here for this class. I'm going to show you a couple other methods, though, just on the off chance you see some of these other types of problems. Okay, one of the other things that you might need to do is use the table function. If you use the table function, this is ideal for problems where you have a list of answers. So let's say they turn this from an expression into an equation, and they ask you to evaluate when x is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you need to test a bunch of values, that especially if they have consistent changes, so here everything changes by 1, or if this had been 0, 2, 4, 6, only as long as the changes are consistent, using a table winds up being a nice, easy way to approach it. If you use a table, you'll follow these directions. You'll enter your equation in the Y editor. The Y editor is located at the green diamond F1 button. So if you hit green diamond F1 and you enter your equation in your Y editor, so again it would be the same thing, 4x to the power of 2 minus 5x plus 2. Hey, what you would then do in setting up your table is to change the table settings. The table settings are located in the green diamond F4 key. It's abbreviated TBL-SET. So you'd go to your table settings, make sure that you start at your lowest value. So table start for us would be 0. The next row down, it's hard to tell what that symbol is. It's a triangle or the Greek letter delta symbol. Delta mathematically stands for change. So this is asking for the change in the table's value. So the table change, it's changing by 1. If it had been just only even numbers, it would change by 2. It just gives you a little more control over what, when it gives you the spreadsheet, what values you're looking at. So you can leave it at 1 here. Once you change those table settings, you can go to View the Table. Viewing the table is located at green diamond F5. Okay. And that's going to just give you a spreadsheet with all the values. So you get 2, 1, 8, 23, 46. It allows you to fill those in pretty quickly. And as far as the efficiency goes, if you have a list of things to do, using the table, not a bad way to go. And you could still do all of this with a with key. You just have to go in, delete, and type over each of these values each time. Again, not a big deal though. The final method that you could use on this is using function notation. If you recall from algebra, function notation is f of x. You guys sound familiar? And when you are identifying functions, so now it's even more specific than an equation. It means that for every input, there's one and only one output that maps onto it. That's the definition for function. Okay, your calculators, you're still going to need to enter your information into your Y editor. So we'd still have to put that equation into our Y editor, but you have to be, or you want to pay careful attention to which Y value you use, because instead of F's and G's and H's, the functions that you're going to see mathematically, the calculator uses Y1 of X, Y2 of X. And so I've entered my equation in the Y1 value. So on my home screen, anytime I type Y1 parentheses X and I hit enter, that refers to the equation I entered in that Y editor. Okay, so Y1 of X is my function. So if I wanted to, in this case, evaluate, let's say, -5 and 21, just to confirm that those were right, okay, I would type in Y1 of -5. That's going to evaluate my function using this number. So instead of the X, I just put a -5, hit enter, it confirms 127. If I wanted to change this to evaluate my Y1 function when X is 21, just change that, hit enter, and again it confirms 1661. Okay. The advantage to using function notation will come later, probably when you're asked to graph things or if you need to know information about graphing, because you're entering it in the Y editor so you can graph it and you can perform other operations to it. You can also refer to it anytime you need to by using the Y1 of X. Okay. Once again, this one probably what you're going to need to do, or if you're familiar with using that, it'll help you on the final if you need to test anything or evaluate it.